Thank you for being here.
Okay.
Okay, so today's topic is holistic fitness, where we'll be discussing about emotional and mental fitness. How does that actually play a part? Raise your hand if you have experienced more than two emotions in your life. And raise your hand if you have experienced people who actually react emotionally without actually becoming aware of their emotions. So one of the things that I've experienced in my life is that emotion is not really, we are not really paying that much attention to emotions. So whenever the emotions comes up, people around us actually suppress them rather than actually having them released. So you might have experienced that when people are getting angry, the statements that are made is, don't be angry, don't be sad, rather than actually allowing that anger to come up. So when that happens, that anger or sadness actually stays in the body. So we are just talking about anger and sadness, that emotions are, in my experience, I've noticed that emotions are not allowed to be expressed. So as a result, they continue getting deposited around the cellular memory, and eventually they lead up to becoming a trauma. The immediate effects that you can see is feeling numbness. So if you are feeling numbness in your body, it's because something has happened in the past which has created an emotional memory, and as a result, over a period of time, it has resulted into a trauma. Now, I work with a lot of people around sexuality. So in order for us to become orgasmic, that energy needs to move. The blood needs to circulate in our body, and the energy needs to move. But if these cellular memories are deposited around sediments, then the energy does not move. As a result, a lot of people cannot experience that orgasmic state.
So I'm Komal Shah, and I'm an alternative healer, classical dancer, and healing artist. So I'm here to make you understand, and that's what I have understood by myself, that the best friends, what I could understand, is mind and body. Body and mind is completely connected, and they have a beautiful synergy within it. So any kind of physical manifestation of diseases is because of your emotions, your thought processes, your belief systems. So any kind of physical diseases, what you manifest at a physical levels, are because of any kind of hurt, pain, grief, resentment, anger, as he said. And if you don't know how to channelize that emotion, none of the emotions are right and wrong. So let's understand, it's kind of a feeling which needs to be addressed. And if you don't express or address it out, it results into a manifestation of a disease at a physical level. So my job here is to, I have created a modality which is called as Natya therapy, which talks about how body can move, and it helps to program, recreate a new emotion in your subconscious level. How through body movements, how through postures, how through breath work, how through mudras, which we oftenly use in our dance recitals, how they can help us to actually clear and cleanse those negative belief systems or the negative emotions which are not serving us. And we don't really get into it to analyze it, that why did where is it coming from? Has it been actually coming from genetically? I have inherited genetically. Is it coming from someone has just, I have reacted in certain situation, and why have I reacted in that situation? So we don't get into that drama to understand why. But here we try and understand if this is a clogged energy which is not letting me flow or move ahead in my life, or it's not allowing me to accept this beautiful change which is already waiting for me. This beautiful, powerful modality is helping you to just go with the flow. So movement, breath work, say mudras, all these help you to just allow the emotions to flow and allow the energy to flow through it. And that's all where our clogged energies, which are actually deposited in our every organ or whichever organ, it talks about it. So it's always said the body never lies. Body always speaks the mind. Sometimes mind will make you run around and mind will say, oh, I have this problem. But actually the core problem lies in somewhere else. But the body has its own way to give a signal. Look, there is a problem in the back. The back is hurting. The back is talking. The back is talking about support system. The back is talking about stability. And knees. My knees are hurting. So knees are talking about to take a step forward. What is blocking me to move ahead? What is blocking me to take a step forward? What are the resistance? What is the rigidity? What is the stubbornness which I'm holding on to my knee, which is not allowing me to move forward? So here it is all about how body and mind are best friends, and they actually keep on giving us signals in a way to actually release and detox our emotions. And movement and all what I have explained in Natya therapy helps us to detox our emotions without getting into an analytical frame, and that's where I am talking about. So let's.
You use the mudras and movements, right? So Komal uses the Kundalini holistic healing by using breath, sound, and mudras. And what I do as an emotional detox body worker, I also use sound, breath, but I actually work on a human body. So what I do is something called body mapping. So by identifying where the blockages are in the body, then I help them release by using different kinds of pressure. So that's a different kind of work we do, but basically the goal is still the same, helping to release emotions in our body. Another thing that I also do is I do workshops where we actually train and educate people on how to create a space. For example, if somebody is angry, there's a lot of charge and anger energy. How do we create that space so that that charge can come without getting us affected and still be expressed? Because that's one of the biggest reasons why people say don't be angry, is because they cannot hold that anger.
Yes, you need to address it.
Yeah, so that needs to be addressed. So you see, animals live in fear all the time. So, if you go anywhere in the jungle, animals are always living in fear, but still they are living better. Is because what they do is they remove the fear instantly by shaking in their bodies. So this is something we as humans can learn from them, that if we need to feel fear, feel where are you feeling in your body, what does it feel like, and then use breath to release, or use a talkative therapy to talk it out to someone, right? Now, as you had pointed earlier, our mind only has 20% of information. So from a cellular memory perspective, it only has 20% of information. It's 80% of the information is actually stored in the body, hence the body talk, right? So when I'm working as a body worker, a lot of times I have experienced that clients have sensed abuse in their childhood, which they don't recall, which they can't even recall, or something that has been passed to them through generations, and that's what we call somatic memories, right? So as in the bodywork session, it helps us to really go through those deep cellular memories and help them release. Now imagine our body is a vessel, right? Would you agree that we have different systems in our body? We have endocrine system, we have cellular, the nervous system. So all these are systems in the body, but if they're blocked, then we can't feel it. But imagine if they get released, then there's a new space comes in, and that's why client starts feeling lighter and happier.
It's the flow.
It's the flow. It's the release and then the flow. So you might have also experienced that a lot of people think too much negative, and it's simply because there's a lot of negative emotions stored in them. So asking them not to be negative is not going to help. What we need to do is to work and find out where in their body is that negative emotion stored, and then help it release.
So we have another co-speaker, Ruchi. So I would like her to talk something.
Yeah, so hi, I was told this session is supposed to start at 1:15, so I landed up here on time as per me. But gonna take a little different angle from there and try to understand what holistic means, what fitness means, and who we really are, and whether we really need to ask this question or whether we need to separate our emotional and mental fitness from the rest of our levels of fitness or not. Okay? So I'm gonna ask for a raise of hands over here. How many of us have a body? How many of us have a body? Yeah, a physical body, we do. Beautiful. How many of us have energy? We do? Beautiful. All right, how many of us have thoughts? Emotions? Feelings? Joy? And how many of us have a sense of sensing things, intuition, and wisdom? All of us do. Beautiful. So this is how yoga defines it. The whole conglomerate of your thoughts is called your thought body. It's called Manomaya Kosha. The whole conglomerate of your energy, all the different kinds of energy, the different patterns of energy you have, is called Pranamaya Kosha. The whole conglomerate of your wisdom, your intuition, your belief system, all of that is called your Vijnanamaya Kosha. And similarly, the joy that you have that is innate to you is called Anandamaya Kosha. Your physical body is called the Annamaya Kosha, or the sheet of food, something that is disposable, right? So this is the only thing, the physical body is the only aspect of you or me which is disposable. If I take this entirely away, the me as a person still remains the me as a person. So the person is me is not defined by this physical body, but the rest of me is what defines me, right? So that is what is the 99.9% of me while I am in this body. When I'm not in this body, 100% of me is advocacy. And so this body is just 0.1% of who I am, right? And this is something very easy to understand, because when we are in a good mood, or when we have some really highs of our life, and we have some good times in our life, and we're going to get married, we've fallen in love, we've got the job that we want, so we can see the change in our physical structure. We can see that glow in our face. Our physical body instantly changes with that. Whereas, if you compare that to a very tumultuous time in our life, time when we're going through some kind of pain, deep pain, then our physical body also changes. We start getting wrinkles, the skin starts sagging, lose that glow entirely, and we start developing disorders. Alright? So this is about understanding ourselves as a holistic being. And there's so many more dimensions to us that constitute us, that I am. And all of those constitute me at the same point, at this very moment, all at once, is what is me. It's not something, another dimension, another time, or another planet. It's all of that right here, right now, is what defines me, right? So, why this conversation is that to just evoke that question in you, is there any fitness or wellness? When you put these two words together, holistic and fitness, that is what I call wellness, right? So is there any wellness possible without your emotional or mental fitness or wellness? I mean, just ponder over it. Maybe, who say yes? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. So it's really not a question to ask. It's not about factoring in emotional and mental fitness. If I'm not emotionally well or mentally well, I will not even have the willpower or the volition to get up and do any exercise and be physically fit. It's just not possible. The reason why I'm able to stand up right here, right now, is because I have energy that can pull me up against the force of gravity and help me stand. When I am curing people of certain problems, there are even stomach and digestive disorders, your posture has a big role to play, and all I do is I fix people's energy. And then they're able to stand up straight. It's not about their physical structure most of the times, right? So really it's, your emotions and your thoughts or your entire mental makeup are what deeply impact your energy, right? So from here, another aspect to it is that I'm actually a holistic therapist. So I combine a lot of holistic sciences like yoga, nature cure, acupressure, and some healing modalities, and a lot of what I've learned in my corporate career. So I combine all of them to treat people of what is called NCDs, non-communicable disorders. So these are all the major disorders that constitute about 71% of the mortality rate in the world. All the respiratory disorders, cardiovascular disorders, endocrine disorders, mental disorders, most of these all fall under this category, right, of non-communicable disorders. They are also called lifestyle disorders. They are also called psychosomatic disorders. Psycho means of the mind, somato of the body. So these are disorders, all of these disorders arise from the mind. So most of you might have seen that in your prescription or in your diagnosis, doctors would write idiopathic, root cause unknown. Idiopathic means root cause is unknown, right? So it's not really unknown, but even doctors would say, okay, don't take so much stress. Relax for some time, you'll get better. Ease up your lifestyle. So even they know, and intuitively all of us know that these are caused by a certain level of a certain kind of stress in our body, which is again, that boils down to our mental and emotional fitness. Okay, so all the sicknesses that are being created nowadays, all in the sense of most of them, if they're not infectious or contagious, they are all caused by emotional disturbances and mental disturbances. Any weakness in our body, any deficiency in our body is majorly caused by emotional or mental unfitness, right? So when people start becoming happy, they don't need supplements anymore. I've seen that happen so many times. People start living a good lifestyle, they start becoming more relaxed and at ease with themselves and their lives, they start getting well all by themselves. And that's all I try to change in people. I try to make them feel at ease with themselves in their own lives, in their own space at that very moment. That's all that is required. Okay? So, that's really the point I wanted to drive home, that there is really no fitness without factoring in emotional and mental fitness. This is your real fitness begins and ends over here. If you are emotionally, mentally fit, all your aspects of life are taken care of in anyways. Your relationships, your profession, your personal life, your health goals, everything, you'll be able to do everything over there. So, yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. Can
you just share with us like maybe a tip on, how, like say you're at work or something, like just one thing that we can maybe practice or something, suppose you're stressed. Like I know that some people say, because you're a yoga, and a holistic, some people say that like when you're anxious, you should hold your thumb and all. Is there any truth in that thing, or like is there some small tip that you can just give us?
See, I'm going to argue the wider aspect of this whole thing, okay? There is a big difference in taking a pill and in sort of rebuilding yourself from the inside out. It takes effort. We need to realize that it's not about a quick fix. You can have that quick fix, but then something else is going to get to you. Then there are going to be 20 things attacking you at one point of time through a consistent period of time. How are you going to handle that? Okay? You need to re-engineer your internal system to not be affected and to create more calm and peace inside yourself so that your external life, it always works inside out. Once you change your inner self, your external self automatically readjusts and you pretty much recreate your reality over there. It's true. You can try that and see for yourself. The moment you take one decision to change something inside you, your whole life outside, it takes one little step, one little decision, one little change to make a big, big impact in your life, okay? So that's one thing. And the way I treat people with that's why I call it holistic, is for your body, you need good nutrition and exercise. You all know that. We need good lifestyles. We need proper sleep. We need proper schedule in our day. We don't need to be running from one thing to another, so we need to organize ourselves. So for your pranic body or your pranamaya kosha, your energy, you can do certain pranayams. Again, exercise is a very good way of keeping your energy at a very good level. So physical exercise also helps over there. And good thoughts. Good thoughts. Lighter emotions. So over here, Michael was talking about, how to release your intense emotions. So the way to do that is to first sublimate them. Calm them down, make them a little lighter, and then gently release them. Doesn't work. I mean, if something's coming with me, the van, and I can't just give it back over there, who will I give it back to? It'll ultimately just hit me and hurt me back. Because you've got to supplement them first, calm yourself down, and then it'll get softer, and then that is a way to release it. It automatically gets released at that point of time. So the human system has an infinite capacity of fixing itself, refixing itself, and healing itself. But you've got to give it that space. So there are only three major resources we have in life. One is time, another one is mental space, third is energy. These are the three major resources we have. We've got to utilize them optimally for our own well-being. So cover these sheets and so this is what you can do for your different levels of being and keeping it in good shape, plus avoiding the junk. Just as our body, avoiding junk. Junk, yeah. So like food is for the physical body, and most of the media that we see outside, what's coming on our TV channels and the movies, I'm so sorry to say, but yeah, that's how it is. It's mostly junk for our intellectual body, for our mental body, our emotional body. And the emotional body, our autonomic nervous system and all of that is really jumping all the time. It's so used to being excited. We need to set out time, space, and mental space and energy to actually now calm it down, bring it to an optimal state to feel normal again. So it takes effort at this point of time in this world. Right, and SOXs do work. If you're feeling really nervous or very anxious at any point of time, what you can do is just sit down and close your right nostril with your right thumb. And it's called the left nostril breathing. It's a form, So you just block your, right nostril with your right thumb very gently, okay? Sit down calmly. Take deep, long breaths through your left nostril. Inhale deeply right into your stomach. Fill up your chest completely, your shoulders. Exhale completely from your shoulders. Empty your chest, empty your stomach. So take a few long, deep and gentle breaths like that. Within a few breaths, your autonomic system, autonomic nervous system would have gotten balanced, and you feel much calmer. That's one thing.
So, are you going to question about it? I'm still not done. Oh, just So, just coming to you just asked a question that how we can refix this whole thing, at that particular moment, if we are experiencing an emotion which we don't know how to deal with it. So I just feel body is the best tool. Our body has a beautiful way to react every emotion, every situation. And the moment we realize that we are in a low frame of mind and something is triggering us, there are different tools like mudras, which gives instant understanding what is happening. It starts balancing your elements in your body. So when there is a manifestation of a negative emotion in your environment, immediately there is an imbalance happening in your 5 elements which are there in your body. So the moment you start doing a particular mudra, which is like anger, if you talk about anger, and you immediately do a particular mudra which is to balance your anger, in that 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 6 to 10 minutes, you will immediately see a change in your emotion. You will find that this is how you dealt it. You didn't have to speak or you didn't have to talk to anybody to release that emotion. Because as we have 7 bodies, the emotional and the mental body is connected to our physical body. So when the body moves, the body is taking a movement or body is doing any hand gestures, the emotions are also moving with it. It's never going to stay stagnant. So when there is a flow happening at a physical level, at a mental and emotional level also, the emotions are going to flow. And that's the way, the whole idea is to just flow with the situation. Whatever is going to come is going to come. Let the thoughts come and let them go. But don't get attached or don't get attached to it. Don't let it be affecting you. And if it is affecting you, it is because of your personal experiences which are stored in your body memory. But there are different ways like mudras, movements, sound. Like talking about sound where we talk about Hindustani music and Hindustani ragas and the tones, the subtones, the microtones. These are the beautiful compositions of our Indian culture, which are designed in a way where immediately the sound travels to our layers of our body, and that's where it changes the molecular structure in our body, and that's how the emotions, the bhavas, the entire emotions also get changed. So sound, like if you go to a temple and if you're sitting in a temple or in a meditation zone, you don't want to hear high frequency music, you don't want to hear high beats. That's the feeling which you are going to experience. So you want to hear a particular tone, a particular notes, a composition which is making you go feel a little more peace. It's going to make you feel calmness. It's going to give you an emotion which is connected to the divine, where the place is more calm and peaceful, and that's what you want to experience over there. At the same time, if you go to party, you're going to a club, you want your body to move, you want to be in an energetic zone, you want to express happiness. But that's how the sound we want to hear. We want to hear the rhythm which the body wants to move, the high beat, the frequency, the hertz. So that's where the compositions of sound is also I would say the most important process. It's one of the most potent in the process of healing. That's immediate reaction which brings your emotion in a different state of mind. You're not going to stay in that state. It is going to let it flow. It's immediately going to let you flush it out. So body, I would say our body is like a temple. We should know how to worship it. We should know how to use it. Like it has a beautiful connection with your mind. It has a beautiful connection with your emotions. And if you know that this is the particular emotion which is triggering me, like every part of your body talks, right? So if I have a problem in my back, it's signaling me that there is a problem of support system, or it's somewhere challenging me for my stability or my support system. If there is a problem with my knees or my shoulders or my neck or my stomach, every organ, every part, every system, which Michael also just referred, has a meaning to talk that this is where my emotions are directly connected. So we know that the body is signaling everything to us, and we know how, if we know how to use it, how to make the best use of our body, we know how to balance it. That's where we know how to reprogram a subconscious mind the way we want. We can reprogram every habit. We can cultivate a new habit without going through any kind of a major making major dramas and creating a big havoc. We just need to use this part of a body, because this is a beautiful, God has designed this beautiful instrument for us to make the optimal use of it and make and cultivate, like how we can consciously do certain things in our life, where subconsciously we can reprogram a new belief or a new habit in ourselves. Like when you enter a temple or you meet someone, you always greet them with namaste, or you greet them with hello, or you go to the temple, you greet with, you join your two palms. You don't say hi God. Or whoever you want to meet, you don't say hi, you want to say, you bend down. So this again is a signal that when I join my left and right palm together, and that's how I am bringing my left, my masculine, my feminine, my left brain, my right brain, my left and my right, my feminine, my masculine, everything in together, and balancing the energy and coming up to that state where I'm bending my neck, going down, a feeling of surrender, releasing all the fears, anger, resentments, and absolutely paying respect and surrendering to the divine. So we are using this body to experience emotions outside, to express emotions outside. So I would just feel that we have beautiful systems where we can deal with our emotions mentally, physically, in a different way. And body is one of a beautiful technique where obviously there are a lot of other breath work. Along with that, we can actually refix, or I can say just integrate some positivity in our life and not hold on to that emotion and get into that zone that how to deal, let me try this, let me try this. It's just within us. Like when we say body, mind, emotions and energy, when these four dimensions are plugged in together, we can make things manifest for our own self. Yeah? Michael?
Thank you.
Nothing more to add. The only thing I would say is, I mean, in my body work, like these tools are really good, but there are certain parts where I, as my clients, can't access themselves, and that's where my body work comes in. I'll give you a very simple example. Is my work is around orgasms, right? So for a person to experience, especially for females to experience orgasm, they have to have let everything go. And if you just apply the same concept in a body work, for me to be able to go, for things to be released at a deeper level, they can't access it. So that's where the emotional detox body work comes.
But so this is mostly to deal with things that happen in your childhood, which maybe subconsciously are there in your mind, right?
It could be something with the childhood.
In your conscious memory.
It's deeply rooted in the subconscious memory. I can give you one example where I had one client, and after the treatment, she said that she didn't realize she had been holding trauma for 30 years. So she suffered the trauma in her childhood. Her body she's been going through that phase for 30 years. Now imagine what that life would be. And then we did a couple of more sessions, and after that, she felt release and more happier being now. Another example I can give is I work with one of my clients where she had an abortion 10 years ago, right? So as a female, when you have an abortion, generally you will go through a lot of healing process so that there is no memory stored. But in that session, we were able to go I didn't knew about this history. It was revealed later on. So we were able to go into those parts, and a lot of trauma that was still there came up. So
Do you use hypnosis, or how do you use hypnosis?
no, so my body work is actually, there are two kinds of sessions I do. First is a close-on body work. So close-on is like somebody who doesn't know me, who doesn't trust me, for them just to see what that experience is like. That session lasts between 2 to 4 hours. So what I'm doing is I'm actually working on the body through different techniques that I use. And if somebody wants to go more deeper, that's where I do the full body work, which lasts between 4 to 7 hours. Yeah, and the last part of the hour is actually I'm working on the genitals. So I'm now also working with men, but for the past 2.5 years, I've mostly been working with females. There's a lot of trauma stored, both for men and women, in the genitals. So yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think we have to wrap up, right? Yeah. Thank you so much.